All right, my beloved. Let's talk about something real quick. So, astrology talks about two polarities being one benefic, you know, the obviously the Jupiter, the Venus, the let's pull that up. So, there's benefics and malefics, right, in astrology. I kind of got a little bit wrong. So, what's going on with that is on one side, let me pull that up. So it's part of the sefirot, right? And I know I pulled it up in a sit down before. Give me a second here. Bear with me. Yeah, second typing. I don't hear it. Wasn't doing one-handed. All right. So your benefics are Venus and Jupiter. That's really it. And the moon and the sun. I would call them benefics. And according to astrology, right? And the malefics, if you want to call it that, Mercury, Mars, and of course, Saturn, right? So let's talk about a paradigm that doesn't exist. Malefic and benefic is a narrative. The benefics aren't going to do stuff that are going to break the frame of what all should be. Let's talk about powers of remute neutrality. They go a little bit more neutral and they get more involved. They get more neutral, they get more involved, depending on what the age really needs. They're a work in process, work in progress existence. They can get shooken up like an Etch-a-Sketch and reformed. And it's happened over and over. From what the understanding, some of the stuff I don't want to repeat, but that we're not the only life form chief here before, is what it was sounding like. Right? We are a form of life, we are the current form of life that has the chief amount of mind power to do the manifestations of celestial understanding into reality, right? Manifesting. And it can be making things, right? Even making your own tools, your own things, coming up and forming your own stuff, looking at ideas. Crafting, just in general crafting, not specifically witchcrafting. We're supposed to craft. That's what we're here for. We kind of like get to play like gods in a sandbox with stuff, right? And we never get lost. There's some mortality here, right? You just go back up to Jupiter or Saturn, whichever spirit whichever there's like, I think all the intelligences there's like a fraction of them. I think we're all in Saturn. I'm going to be honest. The real fractional mind, because the control concept comes from there, right? What we are is like a projection out of there and out of Jupiter and out of all these planets. A projection of the fractions of the intelligence spectrum to us, right? You can live a whole life without separating a spectrum and thinking about it, right? And the mystical experience of before, there was something that would happen. If you'd been initiated, you'll see something happen in the eye, right? Something happens in the eye, right? And it has to do with the sefirot. The sefirot is one good way to explain it. We're emanating fractions of the understanding of the creative process power. It's an engine, right? It's like a bunch of little engines together. They're kind of codependent on each other. But everything's held together by Jupiter and Saturn. Keeps it all into this microcosm where it spins harmoniously, right? It keeps the harmony going and fixes any kind of failing of cyclicals, right? It's the cosmic stir of the flurrying pot of orbitals, right? Your space rocks, right? What we're getting, right, is a spectrum allowed, right, at default, and then after initiation, more understanding, right, of how the process comes to be. Because for most people, the process is sealed. It's just you're attached to the skin. It's all gross experience. It's not cosmological at all. It's earthly, right? Well, the origin of the earthly is cosmological, right? So that's why we're always touching on that. It's huge. Jupiter and Saturn are huge. So let's get back to, I know we kind of a little off topic, the paradigm of benefic and malefic planets. I'm going to flip you around. The best way to explain it is through the sefirot, right? At the bottom, that's the earth, right? And there is a net, a projection, reverse, forward and back. The sun provides the light, and Saturn provides the mind, right? The format, right? And the content for the mind, the ability to do stuff, the operating systems are the rest of the planets and the orbitals. And the Mazalat, which is, we call it the zodiac. We call that the zodiac. So the Babylonians were talking about the stars holding the heavens, the upper heavens from crashing down. There's something like that going on. Those specific ones that are close to us in the North Star, they have something to do with the intelligence here, right? And it has something to do with containing intelligence as well, which is why they kind of show that net on the sefirot coming down. It's like a projection. They're trying to tell you, basically, we're down here, they're up there, they're actually the mind power that powers here, right? And those ghosts that are stuck in those planet orbs get projected down. They're part of the life form concept. It's like a conglomerate thing. Like the light, the body, the operating system, the mind, the electromechanical processes of the body. All of those happen because of this microcosm put the exact organization it is. We can't really take anything out. And you definitely can't live without Jupiter or Saturn. Definitely can't make it without Saturn. Definitely can't make it without Jupiter. The whole macrocosm works because of that. It's like the ancients call it. It's a machine. The powers are a machine, as well a persona and an intelligence, right? And a mind power, right? So it's intelligence, persona. What's the other thing they were telling me? The intelligence, the persona, and I know we said it earlier. I'm trying to hit on the topics and get it out, right? So why we talk about those things is when you're initiated, you can kind of tell if people are saying something true or not, because you might get a flash from your intuition. You're going to think it comes out of their pupils or whatever. It'd be like a flash of light low here, or the pupils could kind of go square. Like one kind of looks square and the other kind of goes a square on its corner. And that's typically you're talking out of Mercury. Could be true. That's the paradigm I wanted to talk about. There, we almost got off topic again. The paradigm. There's no such thing as benefic and malefic the way you think, right? Jupiter has no obligation to do good things. Venus has no obligation to do good things. The sun has no obligation to do good things. Go out there too long, see what happens. The moon has no obligation to do good things. Think about this. Which one are coming to your house, hanging out with you, like, hey, bro, do that or don't do that. That's good for you. That's not good for you, bro. No one's doing that. Enter a remote involvement, right? They go from capacities of doing nothing to being, forgive me there, from being involved and not being involved. Only running and operating something, let them kind of figure it out, and then it gets to a point they get involved. The malefics are not obligated to do good things or tell you good things. The benefics are not obligated to tell you the truth either. It's all about favor, right? That's why we crack on that a lot. The malefics, they call them malefics because they're not, they don't have to tell you the truth. They're not, there's nothing, they run the game. The information's theirs. They can give it to who they want. That's how that works. So it's all Saturn's, right? Saturn tell Mercury to tell you something. You don't know Mercury is telling you that. You think your intuition's getting worked. It could be getting worked that way. We know sigils teach, but we know we're really just experiencing the emanations of that mind power that's getting fractaled through us, right? So the ancients talked about that intuition picking up on stuff. You could see a sign on somebody, like a shape pop out of nowhere, or something in their eyes or pupils that just is like, that doesn't normally do that. There's either like a pop or a flash, and you're like, that doesn't normally do that. And it's not like in a glow out like demon energy. It's a little different than that. It does do that. It can do this thing where it goes, you'll see like a little thing make a color swirl and then go away. And if you didn't, you're going to see it because you're going to feel some way when you see it. And when people are talking to you, it can go gold, it can go red, it can go purple, it can go blue, right? That's what they're talking about, the emanations. They're emanations, talking about it. They keep giving key features and stuff, and people don't pick up on it. If you're initiated, you're going to pick up on it because it's going to flash out of somebody's eye. And it's only in certain contexts, not every person. It's during interactions. Saturn dwells in the interactions we make between each other. Like the opposite of you, right? Everything's checkerboard, back and forth, white and black, white and black, white and black. And everything to Saturn's black and white. And everything to Jove is white and black. Jove doesn't do anything Saturn doesn't want him to do. Right? And Saturn does what he wants. He's that scary power. The scary power they talk about exists, right? He could lead you right if he wanted to, but he has no obligation to. And the benefics are not obligated to give you benefit, right? Unless you have favor, right? Just some thoughts. Later, beloved. Hopefully that cracks the code for some stuff for y'all. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Necromancer out.